so afraid that we were literally hiding under the blanket.
Okay, so this is going to be a quick tutorial on how I do the oil paints for Flesh. Things that you'll need. Highly recommend this Flesh set from AK Interactive. It is like probably 40 bucks now, but these things will last forever. Like, I don't even know if I'm ever going to use all these tubes. The colors that I'm going to use are Flesh Shadow. That's our darkest tone here. And then we're going to use Basic Flesh Tone, next shade, and Light Flesh Tone, and then a little bit of Snow White. These are the same colors that I used to paint Fulgrim's face here. And he came out pretty great, pretty happy with that. Other things that you're going to need are a brush. These are cheap shit brushes that I got from Amazon. I think they were like $500 a pack, and they're like Happy China brushes or some crap. And then a makeup brush. Highly recommend a makeup brush. This is a lot like applying makeup. In fact, if any of your wives or girlfriends wear makeup, they'll probably be better at this than you are. Also in the makeup realm is a makeup sponge. I've used this one before for oil paint. If you're going to do that, make sure that you rotate them and let them dry completely, because if like this green was wet, and it still may reactivate, so you reuse these with caution. Like I'm going to use the edge on this guy. It'll get green into your paint and tint it and mix the color. The thing with oil paints is it mixes on the model while you're painting, so you don't need to do a bunch of mixing of different colors. So what I have here is an old Imperial Guard officer regiment guy that I have volume shaded. So it's just black primer and then about a 45-ish degree misting of white paint. I just used Vallejo white. And that's it. That's what it looks like. That's going to be your base shadow tones for the entire thing. So the first thing we're going to do is take just a little bit of thinner here and mix down our dark flesh tone until it's pretty thin. And then go ahead and paint all of your fleshy areas. And it's all right if you get it over onto the other areas that you're not intending to paint, because one, you're going to paint over them, and two, like I'm going to probably paint this entire miniature in oils like I did the other Imperial Guard officer that I did. And it actually helps with the look of it to have the oils blended into each other a little bit. It creates a light and shadow that is very hard to do with acrylics without 800 glazes. And I apologize for my kid in the background being a kid, but it is what it is. Okay, this done. So, got a little pot of thinner off to the side to clean the brush in as well. You'll need that. And what we're going to do is take our makeup sponge here, and we're just going to clean this off. What this does is it gives you the thinnest primer layer of tone that you can really get. And it makes it easy to work wet on wet with the oil paint. And it acts like a really cool shade. Like, I mean, as you can see there, he's actually got like a lot of life to him already. Really quickly, really easily. Make sure your brush is clean and dry, and then you're going to go to the next shade up, which is this basic flesh tone. Make sure I got this in camera here. And then we're just going to add this to our high points in some dots. Right. His chin, his cheeks, a little bit on his upper lip, upper cheek area, top of his ear, on this side. Like, again, if you have a wife or girlfriend that does this stuff, or if you just really want to like get serious about it, go on YouTube, check out makeup tutorials, watch them put on their makeup, and you'll see that that's what they do. Add it to the high areas in just like kind of blobs, and then go through here, get these where we want them. Let's put a little more on his forehead here. All right. And you're gonna take your makeup brush and you just tap it. Just tap a little and clean the brush off. Tap a little, clean the brush off. Tap a little, clean the brush off. Just keep kind of repeating this action. It blends the colors together on the model, keeping the highlight where you placed it. And the thing is too, if like you overshoot it, if you over highlight something or don't do enough, you just add a little more pigment and blend it some more. When you're working with these tonalities, the likelihood of you making it turn into a gray mess is pretty low. So it's really forgiving. All right, so we got him highlighted up a little bit. Rinse our other brush off. Nice and dry. Go on to our next color, which is the light flesh tone, which is almost white, but not quite. And same thing, we're gonna add it to our areas that are exposed to the most light and be a little more conservative with it because we're not trying to wash them out. Let's just add a touch there, touch here. Just make sure you're, oh shit, I hope that wasn't off screen. Sorry, hands are moving around here a little bit, but so we just tap these, blend them up. Just make sure you're cleaning your brush because if you don't, it will homogenize the color too much. And then you're not gonna get your highlights you're looking for. Okay, and then for our last little bit, we're just going to add a little bit of this pure white. If you are using not these paints and you are finding mostly as close to equivalent as you can get, I'm sure there's probably a chart online, but any kind of cadmium white will probably do you just fine for this. It's nice and bright, or cadmium or like a titanium white. Titanium white's like really bright, used very conservatively, and I'm going to use this very conservatively, just a few dots here and there. Throw some on his knuckles that have a little more light on them here, 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 and here, and here, and here. And then we blend it up. Yeah, this is an older sculpt, obviously. Sorry, I'm gonna keep drifting out of camera here. So it's got a lot more smooth angles to it. Any of the newer stuff, definitely any of the hand sculpted, awesome, older Forge World stuff that has a lot of texture to it is gonna take this really, really, really well. and it'll be easier to, one, you'll have a better volume shading from your airbrush part of the process, and they're just easier to kind of intuitively know where to place the color and how to blend it. But this took a whopping, what, 10 minutes? It's a 10-minute video so far, and that's what we got. Looks much more realistic in my opinion than acrylics can look without nearly as much effort. I mean, I think to get something close to this in acrylics, you'd be fucking around for an hour or more, thin glazes, and hoping you don't make it look too thick or too crusty or whatever. And from here, you gotta let it dry for 2 days. Oil paints do take a while to dry. That is kind of the offset of doing it this way. And then from here to get to here, just a couple minor things. What I do is I use a little bit of acrylic blue wash thinned down under the eyes, and a little bit of thinned red wash around the nose and the mouth, and that's it. And obviously paint the eyes. I use acrylics for that too. And then for pupils, a lot of people struggle with pupils. This guy right here, Pima, oops, wrong direction. Pima Micro Pen, 0.003, steady hand, don't miss, dot it. That's it. Now you can paint flesh. Super awesome, quick, easy, will make you way happier. Good luck, guys.